I just started prepping the next one. So
you might as well.
you drive all this shit to Sonoma and come back or whatever. So I was like, what am I doing here? So I was spending time up here on my like one day off. I would drive up here, just kind of like.
Did you have friends up here, or did you just say, "Hey, I'm gonna go up there and check it out"?
Just didn't even know it was here. Right, I was just driving north, like get out of here.
Get me the fuck out of San Francisco.
So I just like started to get really drawn to it. So about like 2.5 years in, I was like, okay, I want to harness. I started this book about, this fictional place, what I wanted, and, small inn, somewhere remote, under 10 rooms, whatever. Grow food near the ocean. And I just started driving around the state and down in Santa Barbara. And then I went up to outside Portland, kind of check out that area up in Washington. But this area was always like number one.
Prominent,
yeah. So,
did you do any sea foraging then, or were you just kind of driving?
No, I was just driving and like immersing myself in this place. So yeah, I was just spending some time up here, and then put my notice in. I was like, hey, you gotta find someone else to do this. Like, he's like, all right, give me 6 months, and I was like, fucking
6 months.
Yeah, I was like, fucking.
Did you give that to him?
Yeah.
There you go.
So yeah, I should backtrack. I found Harbor House, and had an interview. It went fucking off. I like showed up with an iPad and a deck. I was like, hey, this is what's gonna happen here. This is what we're gonna do. And the owner Edmund was like, okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
So they were looking for a chef.
Yeah, it was closed for 4 years.
What?
And like they had to do a ton of work on it. It was like falling into the ocean. They did a ton of work, and they were looking to reopen. And a friend of mine who actually ended up living up here was like, yo, they're looking for someone. So I just sent my resume. Had like email back the next day.
I mean, at that point, you got a badass resume. You're running around Attica. You got fucking Royal Mail. You got Menton, Attica. Ryugen.
Yeah. So I had the interview in like a fucking Starbucks on what was it, 2nd Street in
Napa?
No, in Soma. Like I think like right before my shift at Cezanne.
Okay.
So presented the deck, went over it, had a tour of the place. I walked in, I just started fucking laughing. I was like, holy shit, like this is what's in my book.
Yeah.
Like this is it.
You had already talked about to yourself.
So that's why like I was in this interview, I was like, this is what's going to happen. Because like it wasn't like, oh, go see this hotel and then try and figure it out. It was just like, I got there and I got right to work. And it wasn't like, oh, what should we do? Well, how should it feel? I just knew it all.
Yeah.
Because I had just been like kind of daydreaming and manifesting this shit for a while. So tell Josh like, hey, I'm going to go open this hotel. He's like, let me see it. So I tell him the name. He's like, oh, it looks pretty nice.
Yeah, they always downplay this shit. I was like, yeah,
right.
Whatever.
So he tries to get me to stay or whatever, and like says all this stuff, and I was like, nah, man, I'm gonna go. He's like, all right, you gotta give me 6 months. I'm like, fucking shit, man. Like, let's go back to the owner of Harbor House. I'm like, hey, I need 6 months, and he was cool. He's like, all right, fine. So like after service at Cezanne, I was fucking driving up here and shit. Do some work in the morning and drive back for prep. And that was just like pretty fucking intense.
Yeah, for sure.
For like 6 months. I was coming up here on my day off and like trying to meet potters, and I would just like go into the building and like sit.
Yeah,
and
just
like
be in
feel
it,
it,
be in the space.
Just like feel it and like, like
visualize yourself winning.
So it's like move tables around and like sleep in every room and see like what's fucking weird about this room, and like because like I should like backtrack. I'm not just the chef of Harbor House. I kind of have a hand in everything. So the experience as a whole is kind of
your brainchild, your baby.
It's like kind of the vision there. So
because I was reading on the menu, you guys do the menu in the room.
Yeah.
Right, the in-room menu. Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool.
So that happens.
How do you work that out? Like do you walk into the room, or are you laying the food out outside?
Yeah, like right now with COVID, we set a tray up outside and we place it down, take a couple steps back, and kind of walk them through it.
Okay.
But usually you would walk in the room and, set it up and walk
Okay.
them
Oh, so
through
you
it.
guys were doing this before COVID?
Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit.
There you go.
So, yeah, I mean, like, there wasn't even grass at Harbor House when I got there. We spent 3 months, like, outside. I was buying, like rocks for the pathways and building garden beds and planting lawns and like, okay, then we have a month to move inside and buying like tissue boxes and toilet paper holders.
Exactly,
like literally making it a place,
as
buying rugs and like, now I'm a fucking designer. So really kind of like having a hand in everything, which I think has been really rewarding.
Yeah,
it's
for
like,
sure, man.
It's nice to not just do food.
Exactly. You're literally curating the experience for the entire place.
I like to cut the flowers and do like, everything.
Yeah.
That, it's been pretty.
Now, do you have anybody that you consult with for that? Or are you I want this is the way it's going to be?
Yeah, part of my like contract was I need 100% creative vision. And I you're not going to tell me what to cook or what to do or, and he signed off on it.
Cool.
It's pretty rare, so I feel super fortunate.
What's his name?
Edmund.
Yeah,
so Edmund Gin.
Yeah, so you were telling me a little bit of history about Harbor House. It's from 1916?
1916, built by the company that operated the mill in Elk. So they built it to kind of showcase what redwood could look like as an interior design because it was only used for exterior building. So not just did they walk you in and kind of show you the beauty of it, but it overlooked the entire operation. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of like a showmanship of their product, but also like used for a house of entertainment.
Wow. That's crazy. So up until this point, how many do you have in your kitchen?
During service, there's 4 of us, and then we have a position that we just made probably a month or 2 ago. That's like homie during the day and then dishes at night.
Okay.
So that's been really, really fantastic addition because like we understood like we didn't have a dishwasher for a while.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, up in these areas, these rural areas, it's hard to find a dishwasher because you don't have a lot of immigrants.
And then like you have a dishwasher and they're they just don't show up. They don't give a shit. They're breaking all the plates and they're just not understanding. So we just didn't have one. And I'm like, okay, if we can still execute and we can still operate without a dishwasher, let's hire someone that's going to make the experience better, the food better, instead of just washing
a dishwasher.
Yeah, so, for sure. It's like 2 months ago I was doing all the dishes during service. Like expedite, plate, run down, push some racks through, sanitize, just that was service.
Keep doing
so I had like just 2 cooks and then me. We got really kind of like low staff for a bit there in the beginning of summer, our busiest time. So it's always been like just figure it the fuck out.
When did you feel Harbor House like kind of getting that stride? And you're like, your books are full every night. You're getting recognition. The accolades are coming in.
I mean, I don't even know if I feel like we're there yet.
Well, for sure. No one ever is.
Right?
You know what I mean? But meaning like, you got your James Beard nomination.
Yeah.
Did that skyrocket everything kind of happen?
I think it started, so the first person to come was this writer from Food and Wine named Betsy Andrews.
Okay.
And she's just sitting there and like 3 courses in, she calls me over. She goes, "What the fuck?" I was like, "Whoa." I was like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "You can't eat like this in New York." And I was like, "Oh, like thank you." And she's like, "I want to blow you up." And I was like, "Okay, like sure."
Yeah.
I'm not really taking it serious. And then I guess she sent out some messages or whatever, and then Jordana Rothman, who selects the Food and Wine Best New Chefs, came, and I didn't even like put it together.
You were just like, you're in your grind, man. All you cared about was the food.
And like she came and she dined, and then like Food and Wine Best New Chef happened in 2019, and like that kind of like pushed it.
That's cemented you, yeah, for sure. Now, how's that process? You win Best New Chef. They fly you out, right? You go over there, and then you meet all the other Best New Chefs. Mm-hmm. Do you have to put out dishes at that point, or is it just like photo shoots?
So it's like photo shoots, and then you do the Aspen thing.
Okay, the Aspen Food and Wine event.
Nightmare.
Yeah,
12. It's like I cook for 18 to 20 people a night, and I had to do 1,200 portions. If it does not calculate.
What?
Yeah. So, like grilling 1,200 carrots by yourself was pretty chill.
Yeah, for sure. So you're telling me you're doing like 1,000 cover tasting menus and then like 8 to 20.
No, it was just
dinners?
one course out in Aspen.
Okay, one course. Okay,
Yeah. So
got you.
At Harbor House, it's 18 to 20 covers. But
Okay.
So
I was like, God damn.
that was the nightmare.
So then you come back from this James Beer business, and you know, you go into this year. You get your star,
Yeah.
right? So now, how did that happen? Did you know at all that there was any Michelin inspectors coming in?
No, man.
You're just
When I
doing what you do.
left San Francisco, I was like, never fucking again. Thank God. And then like the next, like within 6 months, they're like, oh, we're going full California. And I was like, oh God. Like
Yeah,
Michelin's cool, right? It's important for the business, and it made us way busier.
busy.
Right?
Yeah,
So I have to appreciate
puts
that.
asses in seats.
But
That's right.
it's not.
Do you find yourself being like, okay, now we got this star, we got to keep it, we got to cook this way to keep it, or we're just going to do what we do, and whatever happens, happens?
Yeah, I think it's a balance. I don't want to just cook for the book. There's definitely, if you pay attention, this is only my opinion, but there's a recipe there. If most restaurants I feel are serving the same things, your caviar course, you got your Wagyu, you got your truffles, and then, there's like a recipe. I don't want to follow that. You dine tonight and there's not really any luxury ingredients.
Exactly.
It's like I just want to continue on the rockfish and rutabagas path and serve food that, like real food. I don't want to do too much to it, and I want to stick to that. So I don't.
So do you have goals of attaining more stars, or would you say that you're kind of
I think
either here nor
the second
there,
one
doesn't
would
matter?
be nice.
Yeah.
But just again, purely business wise, I don't understand Michelin. I'm not going to pretend I do. I've had the most amazing meals in 1 stars and not good meals in 3 stars, and 2 star I think is the most confusing category. I feel like 2 star is like the most high touch, whether it's like the plating is a certain way and it needs to be looking like that, and then 3 star they like relax on the plating, and it's I have no fucking idea. I think I have like 9 or 10 Michelin stars on my resume, and I still have no idea. And so I think you can drive yourself crazy trying to figure out what it is. So, just talk to the team, say, we got to just serve things that we're proud of and execute. Who knows what will happen, but it's not. It's not my life goal.
Okay.
I just want to have a busy
that.
restaurant. So, people forget that restaurants are a business.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
If we're busy, I can take better care of my staff. I can give them more freedom. We can close for a month and we can travel, and, we can be inspired and have a better culture. So like for me, getting a 2nd star would allow us to do that because we'd be busy every day.
Exactly.
Can't forget that we're in Elk and there's just no one around.
It literally isn't. Dude, I forgot to buy beers for the kitchen, so I'm like, all right, I'll just drive to this next town, Manchester. Hopefully they got a fucking liquor store. Bro. I was up here. I'm like, damn, I waited too long to like look for a place to get beers. So I was like, I got to go to Manchester.
Yeah. So I mean, like, it's just being busier and reinvesting into the cuisine and, the service, whether it's, plateware or just, overall, again, back into your staff.
Yeah.
Take care of these people that give you so much.
For
and
sure.
You can't do that without having a busy restaurant. And being in a place like this, no one's going to walk in off the street. It's a commitment to get here. So,
Yeah, for sure.
You have to convince people to
Do you
make that
have
trip.
a lot of people reaching out to work here? Do you have?
It's picked
interest
up
like
in
that?
the last probably 6 months. It's definitely picked up.
Have you hired from that pool, or are you like?
I've just been kind of going a little bit internally because people see it's a pretty view. It sounds cool. It's a different fucking thing.
Yeah.
Life is harder here.
I hear you.
There's a lot of benefits. Yeah, you live in this beautiful place, and if you can organize your shit, it takes you a couple months, but then you forget all that stuff that you thought you needed. So,
Yeah.
if you're a 22-year-old party animal, it's probably not the place for you.
I hear you.
If you're grounded and you know what you want, you can get a lot out of it.
Yeah, there's some people that, will come up to Napa and from New York, and then, 2 months in, they'll be like, oh, I miss New York. And I'm like, you had to know that this was not like that. Like, you had to know. It's in the middle of nowhere.
200 people in Elk.
That's wild.
98% of them are